Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's the middle of the day on Saturday, October 7th, and I am making this video in response to a bunch of comments that I've gotten talking about how much work it is to create a homestead out of 20-25 acres. And as always, excuse the sounds because I'm out on my abandoned steam train right-of-way next to the highway. It's my access point into the property. Sort of goes like this and up through and back into the woods over there. But my apology is just to say that excuse the noise you're going to hear in the background. Again, the reason I'm making this particular video is because I've received some comments, and I've responded to a few of them, but I wanted to make a video specifically about managing 20-25 acres and the efficiency that you can use. And I'm intentionally sitting around this old rusty wheelbarrow for a reason. First of all, there's a story to this old wheelbarrow. It was up on the side of the road with a free label on it. I was going somewhere, I saw it. I decided, oh heck, I'll be back through and pick it up. And I never made it back through. It had a flat when I had first seen it. The old front tire there it's a decent tire, but it was flat. And so anyway, I went on about my way. I came back and it was gone, and I thought, darn, I missed my opportunity. Well, come to find out, a fella I knew had seen the same free sign, and he had picked it up. And what he had done was he had purchased a can of Fix-A-Flat, and he had filled it up, and he put it in his garage sale, and he put a sign on it saying 20 bucks. So I saw it, and I didn't say anything to him by the fact that I knew where he'd gotten it from, but I said, I'll tell you what, I'll offer you 15 bucks for it, because, you did haul it, and, well, I didn't tell him that, but I'm thinking he did haul it, he put the, Fix-A-Flat in it, got it back working, and there was nothing wrong with it, except it's just a little bit rusty. Probably needs a little cleaning. I spent some time bolting it down. But basically, the reason I'm pointing out this wheelbarrow is that a wheelbarrow on a large piece of property, if you're doing it by hand and you can't afford equipment, or you're doing a project like I'm doing where you're trying to do an exercise in self-sufficiency, a wheelbarrow is one of the most amazing tools you can have. And let me show you something. One of the ways I'm working this thing is that every time I go one way, meaning go into the property, I take something in there, and every time I come out, I bring something out. Now, I'm going to be setting up some stuff in the back later, and I'm going to need some gas cylinders, so I've gone ahead and filled up the gas cylinders, and I have some water bottles that I'm going to take back there as well. For when I need water, I can retrieve water from the river or from the stream. All that stuff obviously will be hauled in there via this wonderful little wheelbarrow. It's a lot manageable than a four-wheel cart. It allows you to be able to, pivot around, whereas a four-wheel cart has a wide turning radius, which makes things a little bit more difficult. The other thing, not so much the other thing, but adding to it, this pile of wood I just brought in with the wheelbarrow, and I'm going to take a walk and show you a couple of things real quickly. I'm also going to have to build, you guys remember this road here that I got stuck in? You notice I've got some pier blocks that I dropped off here. Whenever I go back into the woods, I load up about 3 or 4, and depending on your strength, you can do 1 or 2. But just don't do more, because the wheelbarrow becomes unstable and you're likely to trip over and get hurt trying to, hold the weight back. Just limit it, be sensible with your own strength. And I'll talk about, fitness out here another day, but just try to manage what you can move. But basically, I take about 3 or 4 of these pier blocks and I head them back there into the woods. And then on my way out, I bring cut sections of firewood, which I've actually cut and been drying all summer long. The stuff's been sitting out here for about a year or two, so it's well seasoned. I just cut it down to manageable sizes, and that way I can, you know, move around with it. Now let me show you something else. You see this little area? This is the area between my hugelkultur beds where I have to create a bridge in order to be able to cross. Now what I'm going to do with that wheelbarrow, and this is going to sound absolutely wild to most of you, but bear with me because you're going to see the results. I'm going to do all this by hand. I'm going to go back up on the steam train right of way so you can get a better vantage point of what I'm about to describe. What I'm going to do is, as I go back and forth around here, you will notice that there are lots of rocks, river rock, that are all strewn all over the place. I am going to literally pick them up, and as the old saying goes, one wheelbarrow at a time, I am going to drop them in here. What I'm going to end up doing is I'll put a culvert through, probably 2 or 3 of them, plastic culverts, and I am going to build around them basically rocks. Little by little, every time I come through, until eventually I have approximately a 8-foot wide road, and I'm going to just keep piling it up until my rocks have reached a nice height and have formed basically a bridge that I can drive over, or what I call a, a land bridge. It's obviously not an overland bridge, but it allows me to elevate above what you see down here, because I can't possibly, I've shaped it by hand quite a bit, but I can't possibly work through the winter through it, because what I'll end up doing is I'll create a rut. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually build a road, but also I want to elevate the road. And you're going to say, that is a lot of work. It actually isn't. If every time you go back and forth, you make good use of the materials you have. Basically, everything I have to do a bridge across the bed is already here. I just have to put in the effort, and it's not like massive, effort. It literally is, one stone at a time. I pick the guy up as I go. I put it in the wheelbarrow. I collect them little by little by little, and every time I walk by, I just pile it. Believe it or not, with the wheelbarrow, it's a lot easier than you can imagine. And it seems as though, okay, some of them are buried in here, but you have to remember, I don't plan on doing this all in about a week or anything like that. I'm going to be doing this over the course of the winter. Next spring, or in about December or January, it's important to set yourself realistic time scales, knowing that I'll be going back and forth and doing all kinds of work out here. I know that by December or January, I will have a really good pile of these river rocks of all sizes. When I get to ones that are like, 1-man or 2-man or 3-man boulders, I'm obviously not gonna, be putting those in the wheelbarrow. I'll probably tie something around them. What I've been experimenting with is making a leather sling that I can wrap around a stone, put some cordage or some chains or something to my bumper, and pull some of those stones to where I need them to go. And when I say a sling, kind of like a slingshot pouch. Down at the tannery here, I can buy just sections of tanned leather. Just, I just make some holes in them, I reinforce it, or you can get the guy there to do it for you if you have such a shop in your area. But basically, I'm gonna try using the sling and move some of the bigger boulders that I have to move around here, some of the bigger river rocks. But outside of that, all these guys you see over here, as I go back and forth, I'm gonna stack them by the side of the road. I'm gonna throw them in the wheelbarrow. When I come through with the wheelbarrow, go empty them there, little by little, back and forth. If you think about it, if I make, I'm actually gonna go through this equation with you as I normally do in my own head, but I'm gonna kind of tell it out loud. if I make 5 trips up and down this road a day during my course of a 10-hour day when I'm out here, and some days it's a little shorter depending on, you know, if I'm doing half a day or not, but let's just average it down and say 5 hours, right, a day, 3 days a week, right? Let's get that down to 15 hours. Now, I go up and down this road, like I said, about 4 or 5 times. And by the way, what you're looking at here, I'm going to get back to what I was talking about in a second, but this is some of my old moldy hay that I'm still piling into the hugelkultur bed. I work on these things little by little as weather and as different things allow. My priorities shift back and forth. But basically, I'm going to also show you something else. What you're looking at above this bunch of hay here, you see this stuff over here? This is bedding from a pig farm. So it's got basically some pig manure in it and straw, and I get tons of this stuff. This is a log that I brought over here, and yes, I picked it up and put it on my shoulder. Again, do things that fit your strength. Do not overdo it. One of the things that you've heard me say in the past is safety is really, really important. Safety is massively important, so don't do anything beyond your skill set or your strength level, which will get you in trouble, get you hurt out in a place like this. As I'm talking, I am narrowing in on this really nice stone. As you can see, I have them everywhere. That's the reason I was walking up here, to show you all the material I need is basically right here. I just need to collect it and get it over to the other side, build that sucker. It'll also clean this area up as you try to, you know, let's just say claim the land or reclaim it back. I'm going to stop this now and I'm going to make a part 2 because I want to show you something else.